everyone, I'm Nicole Guillaume with Guiding Echoes, the channel that is devoted to your spiritual and personal growth. And in this video, we are discussing the 5 different stages of meditation. And when I talk about the 5 different stages of meditation, what I really mean is your ability to grow in your own meditative practice. And the reason I wanted to create this video is because meditation is so very important to our well-being. Not only does meditation help us to ground ourselves emotionally, not only does it help to reduce stress, not only can it help us through those dark nights of the soul and help us to get in touch with our spiritual gifts, it can also have amazing health benefits, physical health benefits, such as lower blood pressure, the ability to sleep better. There's a whole host of studies that have been done that show that meditation is very good to our inner bodies as well as our physical bodies. And that's why it is a very important practice to get into. And make no mistake about it, meditation is a skill. When you think about it, it feels counterintuitive to what our brains know how to do. Our minds are constantly turning out different thoughts, different ideas, different opinions. And if we're honest with ourselves, and if we really pay attention to what it is that our brains are telling us, to the thoughts our minds are coming up with, we'll recognize that they're not all good, right? They're not all helpful. And so a helpful, consistent meditation practice can help us with that. Meditation helps us to be more aware. Meditation helps us to choose our thoughts more consciously. And meditation also helps us to de-stress after a long day. It helps us to embrace those feelings of calmness and peace that are so vital to our very well-being, so vital to our souls as well as to our physical health. Okay, so I know that a lot of you have tried meditation and you got frustrated with it, and after a while you thought, it's not for me. I'm never going to learn this. My mind won't shut up. So we are going to work with that by going over the 5 different stages of meditation. Now, the very first stage in meditation is allowing your mind to wander. And I know that sounds strange because in meditation, we often want to do the exact opposite of that, right? So the reason that this is important is because it's important for you to recognize where your mind goes. It's important for you to first gain recognition and awareness of your thoughts. What is it that you're telling yourself all the time? What is it that you're worrying about? What unhelpful thoughts and ideas is that mind of yours churning out? So just sit with those for a while. So just close your eyes and give yourselves 5 to 10 minutes a day to get in touch with your thoughts and just see what comes up. And you don't have to be attached to these thoughts either. You can just watch them as they go by. Kind of like if you go outside and you decide to look at the clouds, you're not attached to the clouds, right? You're just watching them go by. So in the very first stage of meditation, be an observer. Just pay attention to what you're thinking, pay attention to what you're saying, and don't try to correct the thoughts, just allow them to come up. The reason this is important is because it's building an awareness and acceptance of the thoughts that we currently have. And once we get in touch with them, once we understand them better, is when we can start to change them. The reason so many people get frustrated when they first start meditating is because they think they shouldn't have any thoughts, right? They think that they should just be like, and they should be able to clear their mind instantly. But it takes practice to get there, okay? So remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Same is exactly true of meditation. So we want to take baby steps to getting to that place where you can focus on one thing at a time and clear your thoughts for an extended period of time. But when you first begin, you're not there yet. You're not a triathlon. You are a beginner. So just allow those thoughts to come. So the second stage in meditation is directing your thoughts. And you can do this by coming up with a word, a mantra, an affirmation, a quote, or maybe even a prayer that you really like. And so what you'll do is you'll simply close your eyes and you repeat that word, that mantra, that affirmation over and over again. And what will happen is your mind will start to zone out. And that's perfectly natural. And all you do is when you notice your mind wandering off, you just gently call it back over. That's it. So if you're having another thought, if your mind chooses to wonder, if your mind says, I didn't get as far into that video game as I want to. I wonder if I do XYZ, if I'll get to that level. You say, oh, no, we're not thinking about that right now. Let's come back and focus on this word or this mantra. Now, when you're first learning to meditate, I recommend going with a guided meditation because guided meditations keep your entire mind active. So it's working your subconscious mind and your frontal cortex because your mind is churning out the ideas as it's listening to a story. That's essentially what a guided meditation is. It's a story. So it keeps all parts of your brain nice and active. And so when you are doing a guided meditation, your mind may still wander, but not as much. So I would highly recommend trying that out because when you are able to do the same guided meditation over and over again, or when you do the same mindfulness meditation where you're repeating a word or a mantra or affirmation over and over again, and you keep calling your mind back, you keep calling your consciousness back, because remember, it likes to wonder. What you'll find is that as you make this a practice, you'll call it back less and less. You will notice that your ability to sit still and to follow a guided meditation or to focus on a mantra or to repeat an affirmation over and over becomes longer and longer, and you become more engaged. And miracle of all miracles, you look forward to your meditation practice and you can feel the words and the guided meditation wash over you. It will become one of the most peaceful experiences that you look forward to. The fourth stage is that you are able to sit for longer periods of silence in your meditation. And when I say silence, I don't necessarily mean that there's no noise or there's no sound, but I do mean that once you look forward to this meditation and once your mind has learned to stay still, to stay in the present moment, because that's what meditation is. Meditation is focusing in on something, whether it's your inner thoughts, whether it's the silence in your mind, whether it's a mantra or a story, you're teaching your mind to focus. And so you're able to extend that period longer and longer. So remember, in the last stage, we said that those interruptions become less, which means your focus expands. Well, now you can also lengthen the time of your meditation. When you first start meditating, you may want to start with just 5 or 10 minutes. That's all I would recommend, is like 5 or 10 minutes a day. I think 10 minutes is actually pretty good. And once you get more comfortable with the practice, once you learn how to call your mind back from those distractions, and you notice that you're able to go longer periods without your mind wandering off, like your mind really learns how to just stay in the present moment and it begins to enjoy it, that's when you can start lengthening your meditation practice. So you might go from 10 to 15 or 10 to 20, and then before you know it, you're doing half hour, or you're like me where you're doing an hour a day or an hour twice a day, because it just feels so refreshing. It feels so good. The fifth stage in meditation is to quiet your mind completely. So this means that you don't have a mantra you're using, you don't have a visualization, you really are just sitting in the quietness and allowing your mind to think essentially nothing. And that can be, of course, very difficult. So when you do this, you're still probably going to focus on something within yourself. So you might focus on your breath. You might just focus on how it feels to have an empty mind, to have that much space around you, that space in your consciousness. There's so many different ways that you can work with essentially the nothingness. And I know that sounds like never-ending story-ish, but it's true. When you're able to really expand your thoughts into nothingness, that's when true magic happens. And it's something that you have to experience, I think, to understand. In addition to that, I would say that the other component to this is that when you teach your mind one form of meditation, let's say that you do decide to start with guided meditations, and then you think, well, I've got this nailed down. I'm doing really good with guided meditations. I can follow the stories really well. I'm going to go back and try a different type of meditation, which might be mindfulness, or focusing on that mantra or affirmation and repeating it over and over again. What can and most likely will happen is that you'll end up repeating those steps again. Your mind will start wandering off, it'll start rebelling because you moved into a different form of meditation, which is really the same thing as moving to a different type of mental exercise. So, when you go to the gym and maybe you start off on the treadmill and you learn how to run and you do really good at that, and you're like, I think I'm going to try the elliptical next. And before you know it, you're on the elliptical for like only 2 minutes and your legs and your butt are going, what are you doing to me? This is insane. I can't do this. And you start to wonder, gosh, should I quit? Should I go back to the treadmill? That was a lot easier. Our mind does the same thing when we move to a different form of meditation. Okay, so just expect that. So know that meditation is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself, not only because it cleanses your spirit and cleanses your mind and heals your body, but because it also helps you to get in touch with that spiritual side of you that so often goes ignored. Okay, so this is such a wonderful time for you to really just get in touch with yourself, with all of yourself. And regardless of what type of guided meditation you're doing, regardless of the mantra that you choose, one of the side effects of meditation is also getting in touch with your feelings, your emotions, and I don't know why, but your confidence starts to grow. Probably because you're giving yourself permission to really get in touch with yourself. And that is a beautiful gift. It's a wonderful thing that you can do just for you. So meditation isn't really about anyone else. It's all about you. But the interesting thing is that as you begin to grow and change in your meditative practice, you are going to affect other people differently and in very positive ways. So I hope that this video has encouraged you to take up meditation. And if you're one of those people who have said, I've tried meditation, it's not for me, my mind can't quiet down, I hope that this has helped you to dispel the myths that say you should be able to quiet your mind down right away, or this is how meditation should work. Meditation is messy in the beginning, it's sloppy, and it takes a lot of practice to get your meditation to where you would like it to be, to where you're seeing the benefits and the results that you would like to have. So if you have any other questions about meditation, you can put those in the comment section down below. Also, if you have any advice for people who are starting their meditative practices and maybe they're getting frustrated or confused, you can put your advice in the comment section down below. You never know who you're going to help. So thank you so much for watching this video. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would like to welcome you to the Guiding Echoes community. And I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here on this channel, we love to talk about spiritual things like consciousness, angels, the afterlife, things of that nature. And if that's up your alley, and I know it is, then be sure to subscribe to this channel and also hit that little bell icon so you can be notified when I release new videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.